All right, hold on. Let me get a position. Hopefully the wind isn't too bad, and I've got my old 2-year-old AirPods in, so hopefully this is a decent background. It's kind of cold out here. I want to do it out here because it's noisy inside. Woo! Uh, I have I've been gone for a little bit. If you don't follow vegan news on Facebook, where I have been focusing, especially in the beginning, and then I kind of moved over to YouTube here for a little bit, uh, just because of what happened with multiple vegan pages being taken down in the summer, and then some of them coming back, um, what was the one that went down first? It wasn't Dominion. It was the other one, Earthlings. I think Earthlings is the one that went down first. That was the biggest deal, but other ones did too. But I've been back there. I've been streaming. If you don't follow us on Facebook, one of the things I've been doing is I took a bunch of different trips to Salt Lake City, to the ALWC with DXE. I streamed a bunch of the events we did, a really large cube of truth there, different interviews, just all kinds of things. I traveled to a couple different places when I was healthy enough and I could afford/take enough of the meds to get where I needed to go. Um, and it was a big learning experience. And I haven't made too much edited content at all. Probably in the last 6 months. I've made things here and there, but what I've been doing mostly in the last 6 months is focusing on learning as much as I could about social media marketing, editing, and getting things together in my personal life. One of those things in my personal life is and has been the goal that I decided on in August when I went to Berkeley for the first time. I've been back to Berkeley since then. Some of you might have missed it. Uh, I decided at the end of that trip that I was probably more than like 90% likely going to move to Berkeley. At the time, I was hoping I'd be able to take the person I used to be with me and all that kind of stuff, but it hasn't worked out that way, unfortunately. Who knows? Maybe the future will be different, but that's not really what matters. My life is committed to animal rights, this movement, and the platform that I built. And it took some time for me to, you know, see a therapist, work through some depression. We all have that. And especially, I had a ton of depression after the ALWC and hearing all those mother pigs screaming. There was just tens of thousands of mother pigs screaming for their children, and it was awful. It's a whole thing. If you check it out, I'll probably see what I did and didn't post here. I'm going to go to YouTube as well. Her speech she gave in front of the officers when they stopped us there because they wouldn't let us go into the farms. I believe they were. I think those were the Circle 4 farms, but I'd have to check. It's been a while now. It's been 4, 5, 6 months. But she is someone who has cystic fibrosis, and when she was in the hospital, she got a super bug. It was a antibiotic resistant strain of. Those are the doggies. I'll show you guys the new doggie in a second here, but yeah, she ended up with a antibiotic resistant strain of some kind of thing. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I wanted to throw it in since I'm giving you guys like an update. Stop. Hey guys, quiet. Yeah, and it damaged her lungs more, which were already very damaged by cystic fibrosis. And she's on oxygen in the speech, barely able to speak. And she only had maybe a few months left to live if she was lucky at that point. Now, luckily, between now and then, when that happened, she was able to finally get the transplant she needed, and she's alive and well and doing amazing. But it's an example of how the industry impacts more than just animals, more than just people's arteries. It impacts us on a health level because of the things with antibiotics being used to keep these animals healthy in these confined conditions, these cattle lots, to keep them, growing as fast as possible with these antibiotics. But anyway, moving on. So I'm going to be moving to Berkeley, and it's it's a really big deal. I thought about doing different things to try and get there, but I'm trying my best to do it on my own. I've asked a lot of the community over the years, here and there, or at least I feel like I have. I always feel guilty for it, so it's like a last ditch thing for me when I usually do those. Um, right now my big challenge is to get a vehicle. We'll see what that's going to be, but it's just to get out there and bring my kittens and my boba with me. And it looks like I have a pretty cool place to live in a warehouse that somebody is refurbing. And there's already a studio in there that some people from DXE are making content in, and DXE itself is making content in. And I am starting to work with them more closely. It'll be interesting to see people's reaction to that. Right now, I have like 0,000 plus uh, 80,000 plus visitors a day on the Facebook page, down to like it hovers around 6,000 now, maybe less. It's been a while since I checked it. But that's going to happen when you just kind of duck out and need some time to yourself to mull things over and think about it. Like there was a while there where I was wondering if I was just not built for this, if I just couldn't bear to see the pain and suffering I saw and heard, in Salt Lake City, and in all the videos that one has to watch doing this. The goal has always been to get to a point where we can have a team of researchers and people that can rotate through those hardships, because no one person can like watch some of the crap that many of us making any of these kind of videos watch on a daily basis or a weekly basis or even a monthly basis to sort through and decide what you need to talk about, what's most important currently, especially right now, and especially when you're doing anything like this when it comes to the news within our movement. Um, it's it's one of those things you have to decide if you can muster up or create the coping mechanisms you need. And I needed to do that for a while. I have them now. I feel like I do. We'll see how that goes. I'm definitely not going to try and like ever watch that kind of stuff like 8 hours a day again, like for freaking just days and days and days and days and days. Yeah, it's not sustainable. I've learned that lesson. So yeah, I'm. It's been wild, and things are changing pretty amazingly. Like right now, there's Matt, the guy, Matt Johnson. He does the thing called, they just started it, called the Soy Boy Report, which is hilarious. Just totally taking that back from the trolls. And they were doing daily. I think they're going to move to a different format so they can not have as much stress, which I understand, because when I first started, I did something every day for 30 days or whatever it was in the beginning. It was awful. With one person, it's not sustainable. I can't imagine with multiple people even trying to do that, plus all the activism that DXE does, and then the responsibilities they have themselves as core members or as main activists or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, like I said, I want to give you guys an update. I feel like horrible that I wasn't able to stream on YouTube. I mean, I guess I could have, but my platform was never that big here, especially with streaming. And the other issue was reception out there was pretty terrible. I definitely learned that I'm going to need more than one data plan, and that's stuff to come to. Right now, it's all about getting to Berkeley. The Bay Area is an amazing place, and there's activism. Oh, a huge loud truck should go by. There's activism every day. The connections that I've made just visiting there have been invaluable, and I can't imagine living there every day on a regular basis with beautiful weather and compassionate people and activism as part of my life every single day. And as long as I can bring my kids with me, my cats and the 3 kittens that you guys may or may not have met. I don't know if I did anything about that on here. I posted a lot about that on Facebook, but also Instagram, but my personal Facebook a lot too. And because I've been doing TNR with a colony here locally of cats that come from people just abandoning them in the woods and stuff. I live in a very rural area. Obviously, there's a freaking barn behind me. Come here. All right, before I go, I'll show you guys the new doggy. That's certainly not my doggy, obviously, but you know, I get to. There's Foxy over there. She's doing her Foxy thing. They're getting along all right. And that's Kylo. Kylo, come here. Come here. Yeah, he doesn't like me too much, especially since recently I cleaned his teeth, which is doable on your own if you take the time to learn. Yeah, they all get like that with me because I clean all their teeth except, well, for Izzy usually. Yeah, she's just sunning herself. It's actually like 39 degrees, so I'm kind of cold, but they seem to be cool. As long as it's, they let us know when they want to go in. But there's two of the kittens. What's up, guys? That one is Moby, and that one is Nooch. I know. You're on the catio. Yeah. I know. Aw. And they have been on a plant-based cat food since weaning. Since he was screaming all night long for like 2 days until we found him the next day. And he was so small. He was the runt. The mom abandoned him. He was covered in fleas and ticks and all that junk. And then over there is Nooch, and that's his actual sister, and they're like a bonded pair. They're inseparable. They always go everywhere together, don't you? Huh? Meow. I don't know if you can hear them. They're meowing at me. They're like, well, I want to go outside. But they can slip under this fence, unfortunately, because Lowe's Home Improvement is garbage. They totally screwed her out of this fence. Seriously, it was a huge problem. Ugh. And now they gotta be taken to court. So whatever. Hey, there's Kylo. He came closer. Hi, buddy. Hi. Look at him. He got a mustachey. Look at the mustachey on this Kylo's. That was, despite my penchant for loving Star Wars, I was not involved in his naming. That was his name when he was adopted. He's cute. He has issues with going to the bathroom in the house and eating cat poop, but most dogs do. What? And there's another kitty around here. Her name is Stevie /Tater / I call her Little a lot. She almost died, actually. She had to go to Philadelphia, and it was like a whole thing. It's crazy. She ended up costing me over $1,500, which, thanks to some awesome people helping out with donations, I was able to partially fund. I know. You want to come outside? Well, put you on a leash, and we'll go out later. And we also have a kitty stroller. So. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll probably do a little thing about each of them at some point. All right, guys. Stay patient. There's a lot of stuff coming, and the move is going to be a huge deal for a lot of reasons. I've never been happier. I know. I'm coming back in. Oh, it's getting fuzzy. All right. See you guys later.